Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama.
Hare Krishna. Welcome to Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. We will give some more, 1 or 2 minutes more for the speaker to join. We're just waiting for the speaker to join. Hare Krishna.
Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavansam Shri Rupam Sakrajatam
Hare Krishna, Arjuna Sakha Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Pranam Prabhu.
Dandat. Prabhuji, I've made you the co-host. You can.
Yes, Prabhu.
Do you want me to share the screen, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhu, that will be great.
Okay. So, Hare Krishna all, welcome Arjuna Sakha Prabhu. And today we'll hear from Prabhuji from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 1, Text 19. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, over to you.
Thank you. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवी सरस्वती व्यासं ततो जयत्मुदुरये मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुलङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणे शून्यतां स्वकथा कृष्ण पुण्यः श्रवणकीर्तनः हृदयन्तस्तु अभद्राणि विभुनोति सहृत्स्रुताम् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोकैर्भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So I welcome all of you. So this is the canto 5th, Srimad Bhagavatam, and chapter 1 and verse 19. I hope everybody can see the screen, right? Verse 19. त्वं तु अब्जनाभ अङ्ग्रविसरोजकोश दुर्गाश्रितनिर्जितषड्सप्तम शपप्न त्वं तु अब्जनाभ अङ्ग्रगिसरोजकोश दुर्गाश्रितनिर्जितषड्सप्तम सपप्न भुङ्गख्यैः भोगान् पुरुषतिदृष्टान् विमुक्तसङ्गः प्रकृतिं भजस्व त्वं तु अब्जनाभ अङ्ग्रगिसरोजकोश दुर्गाश्रितनिर्जितषड्समप्न भुङ्क्तख्यैः भोगान् पुरुषतिदृष्टान् विमुक्तसङ्गा प्रकृतिं भजस्व. Hare Krishna, Mataji, Prabhuji, would like to recite, please?
Give me a second. I'll just unmute all.
Yes,
so whoever wants, they can. Devotees can unmute and narrate the shloka.
Okay, Prabhu. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 1, verse number 19. From Sabajjana Bhangi Saroja Kosha Durga Srito Nirjita Shatsapatnaha Bunje Kveha Bhogan Purushati Dishtan Vimukta Sangha Prakritim Vajasva. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Anybody else would like to chant the shloka?
I can try to.
Yeah, Prabhu.
Tvabja Nabangri Saroja Kosha Durga Shrito Nirjita Sapatnaha Bhungshveha Bhogan Purushati Dishtan Vimukta Sangha Prakritim Prajasva. Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranams.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Tvam abja nabhangri saroja kosha durga shrito nirjita sapatnaha bhungshveha bhogan purushadi dishtan vimukta sangaha prakritim bhajasva. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Mataji. So let's go to this translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Yeah, Prabhu. Can you please bring it down, Prabhu? Okay, translation by Srila Prabhupada. Lord Brahma continued, my dear Priya brother, seek shelter inside the opening of the lotus of the feet of the Lord, whose navel is also like a lotus. Thus conquer the six sense organs, quote, the mind and knowledge acquiring senses. Accept material enjoyment because the Lord extraordinarily has ordered you to do this. You will thus always be liberated from material association and be able to carry out the Lord's order in your constitutional position. Purport. There are three kinds of men within this material world. Those who are trying to enjoy the senses to utmost are called karmis. Above them are the jnanis, who try to conquer the urges of the senses. And above them are the yogis, who have already conquered the senses. None of them, however, are situated in the transcendental position. Only devotees who belong to none of the above mentioned group are transcendental. As explained in Bhagavad Gita 14.26, Mam cha abhyabacharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatita brahma bhutaya kalpate. One who engages in the full devotional service, who does not fall down in any circumstances, at once transcends the mode of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. Lord Brahma herein advised Priyabrata to remain transcendental in the portraits not of the family life but of the lotus feet of the Lord Abja Navagrihi Saroja. When a bumblebee enters the opening of the lotus flower and drinks its honey, it is fully protected by the petals of the lotus. This bee is undisturbed by sunshine and other external influences. Similarly, one who always seeks shelter at the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead is protected from all dangers. It is therefore said, Srimad Bhagavatam 10.14.58, Samashritaye padapallabam plabam mahat padam punyajaso murare bhava ambadoirvasya padam param padam 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 yad vipadam natesham. For who? For one who has taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, everything becomes easier. Indeed, even crossing the great ocean of nuisance, Bhavam Buddhi, is exactly like crossing the hoop print created by a calf, Bhashyapadam. For such a devotee, there is no question of remaining in the place where every step is dangerous. Our actual duty is to carry out the supreme order of personality of Godhead. If we are fixed in our determination to carry out the supreme order of the Lord, we are always secure, regardless of where we are situated, whether in hell or in heaven. Wherein the words Prakritim Vajaswa are very significant. Prakritim refers to one's constitutional position. Every living entity has the constitutional position of being an eternal servant of God. Therefore, Lord Brahma advised Priyabrata, be situated in your original position as an external, eternal servant of the Lord. If you carry out this order, his order, you will never fall, even in the midst of material enjoyment. Material enjoyment achieved by dint of one's fruitive activities differ from material enjoyment given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. A devotee sometimes appears to be in very opulent position, but accept that position to follow the orders of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, a devotee is never affected by material influences. A devotee in Krishna consciousness movement are preaching all over the world in accordance with the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They have to meet many karmis, but by the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they are unaffected by material influences. He has blessed him, as described in Chaitanya Charitamrita 7.1-9. Kabuna badhibe tomar Vishaya taranga punarapi eithani pabe moro sanga. Kabuna badhibe tomar Vishaya taranga Punarapi Eithani Pabe Mora Sangha. A sincere devotee who engages in the service of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by preaching his cult all over the world will never be affected by Vishaya Taranga, material influences. On the contrary, in due course of time, he will return to the shelter of the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and will thus have perpetual association with him. Jagdguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakkhurunmilitam Jenam Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaiham Dadati Shupadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Jutapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavan Shamsha Sri Rupam Shagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Idam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Shahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakha Nitansya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubheshya Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivashadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to Prabhupada. So this is such a wonderful verse and such a wonderful advice for all of us, particularly in this age of Kali, and particularly all the condition that we are going through is literally, this is a boon for all of us, a direct blessings from Lord Brahma. So there are three aspects to it. Number one, the aspect Brahmaji is giving to Priyabrat, the advice of Brahma to Priyabrat, the first. Second is for people like us, the devotional, conditional soul, where we are struggling in every aspect. And third is the aspect of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what the message, the bonum, this complete, the package, this, what do you call, the sarans, we can call it sarans of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So if you look at all these three, so Prabhupada has composed a wonderful the purport for us, and he has brought many beautiful verses also, a couple of wonderful verses here. So let's understand what is the Durga. The Durga, he's talking about the place, the fort, right? The place where we can take shelter and we feel assured that we are protected. If you look at the big fort, the fort city, Jaipur, or maybe if you'll see at the fort Rajasthan, you go, you'll find lots and lots of fort. And the whole objective of the fort is to keep protecting, stay protected, right? So that people, you'll not get external kind of attack from external source. So you'll be protected. But here Krishna mentioned about one very important point. It's talking about the senses. We are living with our enemies, first of all. We are living with our enemies. Who are the enemies? The six senses. And since we are living with our enemy since the day we born, not only the day we born, but we have been living since time immemorial. Janmani Janmanishwari. And every time that you are getting this manasastani indriyani prakrutistani karsati, we have been struggling with these six senses. And anyhow, we are living with the six senses. But these are all internal traits. Sometimes we may say we are associated with a devotee, with a enemy and we may shake hand with him and join business. And just think about the situation where we are joining business with our enemy, and always there is a possibility that you may get betrayed. You may get ditched, or your money get taken away, right? This kind of situation will always be there. But when you're talking about the internal enemy, the primary of them are 6. Manasasthani, Indriyani. And because of them, we are struggling. So what Brahmaji says, conquer the 6 sense organ, including the mind and knowledge acquiring senses. They accept, and what you do? And once you conquer the 6 senses, then you are in your right position. You are in the constitutional position. This particular point is being advised by Rishabh Dev also. It is not a human being are not meant for this. Human beings are meant to be in your real constitutional position. And when you are in constitutional position, then only you will enjoy the relationship between you and the Supreme. And you got the right to do that. You have all the right. And in Prabhupada, in purport, he says, he's given a quote. This child, the son has got all the right for the property of the father. Similarly, a Jivatma, the Vyasti Atma, or the individual soul, has got all the right to have a blissful moment in his life in association with Krishna. And Rishabh Dev is pointing this particular point. Suddheta Satta just means Sukham Anantam. You are by default, you have the right, or you are entitled for a eternity, bliss, eternal bliss. Ananta. That means there is unending bliss. And why you are struggling here? The only reason that you are struggling, because you are associated deeply with your enemy, that is your senses. But how can I get rid of this? The moment you get rid of what is the solution? You need to get rid of the transcendent from this enemy, transcendent from this association, transcendent from this attachment, and then only you'll be establish yourself in your real position. This is the first thing. So unless we endure for this, we cannot enter into the realm of our real position, constitutional position. And if you look at the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, verse number 28, in Prabhupada says, in the real constitutional position, Prabhupada described this in the purport of 3.28. He mentioned that those who are Tattvavid, those who knows what is Brahma, what is Paramatma, and what is Bhagavan, and those who are in the realm of their constitutional position, they very well understand this part. And what they do, they engage them in the service of the Lord, the Seva. Always entered into Seva mood of Seva. And that is very important. Right? And Prabhupada has given this emphasis. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also described this particular aspect. Jiver Sharup hoy Krishna Nityadas. Jiver Sharup hoy Krishna Nityadas. Krishnair Tatastha Sakti Bheda Bhed Prakash. This is the Tatastha Sakti of Krishna. Sakti. Krishnair Tatastha Sakti. This is the constitutional position of a Jivatma. This is the constitutional position of a Jivatma. So Krishnair Tatastha Sakti Bheda Bhed Prakash. And consciously, he is both separated from Krishna, Bhed, and also Avhed. Why Avhed? Because constitutionally we are acquiring all the qualities of Krishna. And what is the Ved? Because we are independent. We got our constitutional right to be independent, Swatantrata. Krishna is Swatantra and we also Swatantra. Krishna never interfere in our day-to-day affairs, our activities. And that's why we retain this constitutional position of Swatantrata. That's why Veda, Ved Prakas. But apart from this, what happened? We're having the energy of the Lord. Tatastha Sakti. We are the energy of the Lord. But knowing this, what we need to do? We need to engage in Krishna's seva. And this is the constitutional position of a jiva. Krishnaire tatastha sakti veda ved prakas. But after knowing this, being in this situation, what to do? Nityadas. To engage in the eternal service of the Lord. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Mama janmani janmanishware bhagavatam bhakti rahetu kittvai. In my birth after birth, I should be engaged in the devotional service of yours. That is important point. And how can you do that? We're always thinking that I'm the servant of the Lord. And here, Lord Brahma is mentioning about what is to Priyavrata, advise Priyavrata. And what is the intent of this? The intent is to bring Priyavrata back to the normal Grihastha life. Why so? Because Priyavrata, because with the advice of Narad Muni, he was associated with Narad Muni, and he got this consciousness, elevated consciousness, and he wanted to be away from the Grihastha ashram. And he was fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness. But Brahmaji has to play a role, right? To expand this universe, expand the Manushya Loka. And he wanted the service of the Priyavrata. And here, Lord Brahma is advising him, enjoy this material, because this enjoyment is given to you. You are not acquiring it for your sense gratification. And that is the difference Brahmaji is mentioning about. And this is the first thing that we are talking about. And if you look at many times, even in Srila Prabhupada's life, one time came, he was given all the opulences. And all this, that means if you look, some devotees, even Yudhishthira Maharaj also wanted, I don't want to be the pauper, but I want to be a devotee with, he never wanted, but he did mention Krishna. I also want, because he's maintaining the kingdom, right? And Krishna provided everything to Yudhishthira Maharaj. And he has given the wonderful, that means this treasury of Indraprastha, if you look at, so that kingdom will be built. And Krishna himself also ruled the kingdom with opulences. But when you are talking about the objective, the intent of that things, that is the difference. When you look at the material perspective, material point of view, sense enjoyment point of view, bhotiktavadi point of view, and if you're enjoying all this stuff, keeping yourself at the center, that is the problem. But engaging everything for the service of the Lord, that is the attitude, the intent of a devotee. And that is the difference. That is a huge difference. That is the difference between a devotee and non-devotee. Whatever opulences, whatever material things, whatever you have in possession, what you are doing, you are putting everything in Krishna's service. You have a pen, put it in the service of Krishna. If you have a microphone, in the service of Krishna. You have a vehicle, you're engaging that vehicle for the service of the Krishna. If you have time, engaging that time for the Krishna consciousness, Krishna seva, in the preaching, everything. Whereas, on the contrary, the bhautikta body will do what? He'll accumulate wealth, accumulate everything for the sense gratification. But here Brahmaji says, you use this for the service of the Lord, because the Lord is extraordinarily ordering you to do this, so that you will be engaged in Krishna consciousness. Right? You'll thus always be liberated from the metal. And doing this, you'll be liberated from the metal association. Lord Krishna says beautifully in Bhagavad Gita, Jat karoshi jad asnoshi jad guhyosi tadasi jad jat tapasvishi tu konteya tat kuru tad madarpanam. So do it. Whatever you do, Whatever you eat, whatever you speak, whatever you endure, offer it to me. And with this, if you're offering it to me, karma bandhan namuchyate. You'll not be fall in the trap of the bondage of karma. And you purify yourself. There is the process of purification. And Lord Brahma is also telling the same thing. This is how you are serving the Lord. You are enjoying the material opulences also, and in the meantime, the whole objective is to serve Him. So in this way, what you'll do, you'll not be bonded, you'll not be attached with this material association. And also, is quote unquote, carry out your Lord's order in your constitutional position. This is very important position, important things. When we are entangled with material enjoyment, where we get contaminated with the sense enjoyment, we definitely will bring ourselves down from our constitutional position. And that's why we get contaminated year after year, birth after birth, birth after birth. And because of the contamination position, we never able to understand who is Krishna and what is Seva. We never releases the Seva, the nectar of Seva. We never releases this nectar of Krishna consciousness, the Katha also. Because we are not pure, you're not pure, we are not pure in our constitutional position. And Brahma has given the thing that when you are engaging all this stuff in the service of the Lord, you remain in the constitutional position as well. It will never be contaminating you. So in this purport, Prabhupada directly mentioned the code from 14.26. Now, what is the constitutional position of a jiva? And he has quoted from Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And basically the constitutional position, or maybe the Suddha position, is when you are transcendent from three mode of nature. There is no iota that already transcendent from the three mode of nature. And the very first paragraph he has mentioned about the three stated. Number one is Jnani, Karmi, Jnani, and Dhyani. And even it looks very exalted position, the Karmi or maybe Jnani or maybe Yogi. They may look very exalted, but somehow deep inside, there is a sense of enjoyment looming inside there. Deep inside, there is a sense of enjoyment remains hidden. Prabhutti cha nibrutti. And that is not nibruttad yet. That not transcendent yet. Somehow the mode of nature is still there. The influence of the mode of nature is still there because you are thinking about this self. Karmi, those who give everything, they wanted to do pious activities, but intent, I will enjoy. The Jnani, they enjoy the fruit of knowledge. That's why they go here and there and they do the battle, right? They go for different places and they search for the Tattvadarshi and they fight it with them. And they conquer them and they feel pride in them. Sakale ashant, Krishna bhakta niskam, ataev sant. And when you are transcending from the three mode of nature, that is the constitutional position of the jiva. And in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Mam cha avyavacharini bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatitayetan brahma bhutaya kalpate. That state is called the Brahma Bhuta state. But what is that? Sagunan samatitayetan. You transcendent from the three modes of nature, all the three modes of nature. But what is how we can achieve that? Mamcha avyavacharini bhakti. By being associated with avyavachari bhakti, uncontaminated bhakti, undiluted, unflinching faith, with unflinching faith. When you are engaged in the bhakti yoga, then you can achieve those. We can transcend from the three modes of nature. That's why the karmi, jnani, or yogi, unless it get associated with bhakti, It cannot be karma yoga, it cannot be gyan yoga, and it cannot be dhyan yoga. The very basics element of these three is the yoga, that is bhakti. That can only be done through the bhakti. Mamcha avyavacharena bhakti yogina shivate. Here also there comes the sevate. By engaging in the service of the Lord, unto the lotus feet of the Lord, with the bhakti, that is the primary importance. And when you are engaging in Krishna consciousness in the regular service of the Lord, satatam kirtayantu mam jatantasya drudabrata, then what happens? You are transcending from the three mode of nature. And that is the state called the constitutional position. This is the Brahma Bhuta state. And but what is the reward? Krishna beautifully given this reward of the Brahma Bhuta. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma. This is the Brahma Bhuta state. And you achieve your Brahma Bhuta state by what? Only by devotional service. Here it is very clearly mentioned, Brahma Bhuta state. You'll be given Brahma Bhuta state, only you can acquire Brahma Bhuta state by only doing bhakti. Bhakti Yogena Sevate. This is the constitution. This is the requirement, Bhakti Yoga Sevate. And you are with the Bhakti Yogena Sevate, you are getting Brahma Bhuta state. Now, after achieving the Brahma Bhuta state, what happens? That is more interesting. Now he says, Krishna says, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na sochati na kankhati samasarbeshu bhuteshu madbhaktim labhate param. That is again a very interesting thing. And when the Brahma Bhuta stage, one who is in Brahma Bhuta stage, what is the characteristics it depicts? Na sochati na kankhati. Na kankhati, never never laments. Kaas ye hota, if I could have done this, that, no lamentation. Whatever been given to me, I am happy. Prabhupada says in a very small book called The Transcending the Self-Realization, Transcendence of Self-Realization, a very small book. And the book comprises of some question and answer, the questions given by Bhavan journals, and Prabhupada was answering those. And Prabhupada says, the Krishna conscious person, he accepts both misery and happiness equally. And focusing on the progress of consciousness, Krishna consciousness. So what do you understand? The only focus is to be in Krishna, the progress of the Krishna consciousness. By doing what? By accepting both happiness and misery equally. Whatever situation is given to me, I'm okay with that. Let me accept it. And with that, what happens? He keep on progressing in the seva. That is what? Na sochati, na kankhati. He never lament, he never fear. And what he does? Samasarbeshu bhutesu. He swear his compassion to all the people around. Each and every jiva around. And what he get? Again, there is interesting points. Mad bhaktim, labhate. He acquire mad bhaktim. He acquires my devotional service. And he given the quote unquote, a wonderful word, param, parabhakti. So it started with bhakti. What is the result? The bhakti. Bhakti begets bhakti. Start with bhakti, you transcend from the three mode of nature, from the position of contamination to uncontaminated Suddha position. And in the Suddha positions also, what do you get? You get bhakti. So ends and means both are equal. Bhakti se suru and bhakti se khatam. Khatam nahi hota. Punah jagrut. Punah you are getting the mellow Krishna Madhurya Nitya Nava Nava hai. And he releases the devotional service. And each and every moment. The Prabhupada here says, Mamcha Bhyavacharini Bhakti Yogena Shivate. This is what one who engages in full devotional service, who does not fall down on any circumstances. And he always remain in the constitutional position of Lord. Jiver Sharupai Krishna Nitya Das. This is the constitutional position. Right? And what Rishabdev also urged us to do that. Nayam deha dehanu bhaja nirloki kastan kama na arhashi bidbhujan. Prabhupada very bluntly says, You don't live like a dog and hog. Prabhupada very bluntly in his the lecture in this particular verse, in the Rishabhde's verse, he openly blasted upon all of us. Don't live like dog and hog. Because what the dog and hogs are enjoying with their stool, you are enjoying the same way. And what is the difference between them and you? There is no difference. Ahara nidra vayamaithunancha samanya beti pasubhita rama. There is no difference between you and them. They're walking on the four, Prabhupada quote here, they're walking on the four legs, and you are trying to walk better with the four wheels. They don't bother to have matting at the street, and you are trying to do all kind of facilities. Nothing else. The way they're happy and they enjoy eating stool, you are enjoying the same eating style with lavishly at home. But there is a difference between you and the dog. There is a huge difference in Krishna, in consciousness level. And Prabhupada here beautifully mentioned what should a human being should do. Human beings should endeavor to get that energy he never utilized in his entire millions and millions of births, like dogs and hogs. I'm repeating again. Prabhupada say, the endeavor for human being is to engage, to acquire, to get that energy of Krishna, what he never utilized in his millions and millions of births, like a hog and dog. So what is that energy? That energy is the spiritual energy. That energy comes from where? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This is the bundle of energy. And as a human being, you should be acquainted yourself. Stay connected with that energy. And equate that energy for what? For the service of the Lord. And this should be the endeavor of human being. What is never done for millions of births. And by doing this, we'll come to the state of Brahmabhuta again. And in this Brahmabhuta state, na sochati, na kankati, shamasabbeshu bhutesu, madbhaktim lavate param. So what do you get? You get parabhakti. You started with bhakti, but you are acquiring the parabhakti. Bhava bhakti, prema bhakti. That should be the essence. But start with bhakti. And here, Lord Brahma herein advised Priyabrat to remain transcendental in the process, not for the family life, but for the lotus feet of the Lord. Now he's taking, Brahma is saying, don't build forts for you, for your protection. But if you keep on protecting from the external enemy, you may do it. You may stay protected. But that never happened. If you look at the fort, big forts happened, Lal Killa, everything, all the forts are still there. But the kings are not there. Their families are not there now. But he is talking about the protection from the deep within. Protection of the soul. And there is a thread still. You may create a big fort for your material, for protection, physical protection. But who will be protecting from the enemy that is inhabited with you? The 6 enemies that inhabited with you. Nobody can do that. So now you think about protecting that from, and that the only source of protection, the only protection that you'll be getting is the surrendering yourself to being in this. He's talking about this, the tunnel, the cavity of this lotus feet of the Lord. Take shelter in the cavity of the lotus feet of the Lord, and you'll be protected. And he wonderfully, this is a quote from Brahma Bimohan Lila. And you see, this is from Brahmaji, and we are discussing about the Brahmaji, and we are talking about 3 different aspects. Brahmaji's advice to Priyabrat to remain take the center of the lotus feet. Now Prabhupada referring the same quote from Brahmaji, from Brahma Bimohan Lila, to the prayer to the Lord, prayer to Lord Krishna. What he says? Samashrithai pada pallavam plabam Mahat Padam Punyajaso Murare Bhava Ambadhirvas Padam Param Padam 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 Yat Vipadam Natesham. Now, Brahmaji, who has created the secondary world, right? Secondary universe. The place that we are living is created by Brahma. And as a creator, he very well know where is the problem, where is the solution, where is the danger, where is trouble, everything he knows. But what he says very beautifully is that Padam Padam Vipadam. That means as a creator, he has planted, that is, minds, right? Everywhere. So the bombs have been planted everywhere. So that unless you are careful, the bombs can be blasted any moment of time. Padam Padam Yad Vipadam. Right? Every place there is Vipada. What is Vipada? What is the Vipada for a jiva? The Vipada for a jiva is to move away from the constitutional position. We get diverted from the Krishna consciousness, diverted from the association of the devotees. That is Vipada. And there is every moment there is danger. Padam Padam Vipadam. Like in the contrary, what is saying? Padam Padam Yad Vipadam Na Tesham. There is no danger in each and every steps. If in the material platform, there is danger in each and every step. Every step that you become, there is a landmine, there is a mine. But here, there is no danger in every steps, that you rest assured. Let it be, but I am secure. But where is the place? The place is the lotus feet of the Lord. Samasritai padapallavam lavam. That is the lotus feet of the Lord. But for whom? Those who samasrita, those who have taken the shelter on the lotus feet of the Lord. Those who have taken the shelter of the lotus on the lotus feet of the Lord. The whole trouble, let's say that miserable world, misery is looking like a mountain. Misery is looking like an ocean. And sometimes we get the feeling, even one night, spending that kind of one night is also looks like at least a years or so. But in that case, what happens? You have taken the shelter of the Lord. You feel as if that ocean is like what is that? The scarf print. Hoop print. You might have seen in the village, or maybe in this muddy place where the little calf, they leave their footprint, and the water in the rainy days, they keep on they get water, and then you'll find this very little water. And this kind of that psychological impression is giving to you. That means why? Even in the ocean, miserable ocean, the ocean like misery or mountain like misery also feeling very small in your life. And this is practical aspect actually. I am sure that most of us, those who have gone through the very difficult life in life, they might have experienced this. And how you feel when you are taken the shelter of Lord, that experience also you might have already got it. I don't have to, because I have gone through that. And I have experienced particularly the blissful moment. Even in the most difficult situation also, the devotee feel blissful, because you are fully protected under the lotus feet of the Lord. And Krishna and Krishna's Tadiya, you are protected under the shelter of the devotees. And that is the beauty of Krishna consciousness. So what do you understand from here? Here we are understanding taking the shelter of Lord is the very, very beneficial for us, and the most exalted positions for us, even in the danger. So the last paragraph is mentioning about what is the actual duty. Our actual duty is to take the shelter of the Lord and also discharge the duty, the seva for Him. And what is the ultimate seva Prabhupada has given to us? The ultimate seva is to preach the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Amar Agya Guru Heya Taro Ei Des, Jare Dekho Tare Kaho Krishna Upadesh. This is the mission Prabhupada has focused everywhere, all across the world, all corner, nook and corner of the world, because he is discharging the seva for whom? For Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, for his Guru. So, what is the actual duty? Is to carry out the supreme order of personality of Godhead. If you are fixed in the determination to carry out the supreme order of the Lord, we are always secure. Because what we are doing, we never get diverted. Vyavashayatmika buddhi eka iha kuru nandana. Bahu shakhai anantasya buddhayo vyavashayana. And Krishna says, Matchitta matagata prana bodhayanta parash. Matchitta. Stay, be focused in my consciousness. Manmana bhavamat bhakto mazzazi mam namaskuru. Fixed everything in me. Fix everything. Maya vishasi nityam te. Fix everything in Krishna's seva. And when you're fixing everything in our seva, the priority is to fix our intelligence in the seva, in this particular path. Fixing the intelligence that included. So Prabhupada mentioned, what is the difference between Krishna conscious and non-Krishna conscious man? The difference is they fix their intelligence in Krishna seva, and otherwise the non-devotee never fix their mind and they make their intelligence spread across many things. And Krishna wants that. Sabai mana Krishna padar vindo vachansi vaikunta gunanuvarna. That's how we need to do that. And what he says, fix in our determination to carry out the supreme order of the Lord. Yesterday in Vyas Puja, I was listening, there is a wonderful quote from Maharaj Bhakti Vigya Goswami Maharaj, who was quoting in this most difficult time while he was preaching in the Russia and other areas of that particular area, and what kind of trouble they went through. He'll make us fall, we'll rise again and distribute books. He'll put us in hospital and we'll come back, we'll get well soon, and again distribute books. If you kill us, we'll take rebirth and we'll again redistribute book. This is the unflinching faith that our Acharya is giving to us. How the kind of the faith they have given this, the message of the Lord, and given this word of Prabhupada. Who has got that conviction to say that you kill me and I'll take rebirth and distribute books and preach this Krishna consciousness? How much conviction is behind that consciousness? How much faith? Because he says, why I'm so much glued to that consciousness? Because I have full faith on this. Because there is no alternative solution. There is no alternative solution that there is no alternative solution. Kalo nasteva gatiranyatha. And because there is no alternative, I must give this, I must deliver this message to people. And people will enjoy that. They should be away from this particular movement, particular trouble, particular problem. That's why I got the solution. The full faith on the message of the Lord, full faith in the message of the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, full faith in the message and order of Prabhupada. And there is a assurance from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What he says? Kabuna badhive tomar Vishaya tarang. Kabu na badhive. Badhive means there is no increase. It will never. Kabu means never. It will never increase your attachment to the Vishaya. What again saying? Assurance is giving. Punarapi eisthane pabe murashang. Again, you'll keep on getting association of mind. Narottam Das Thakur, beautifully he prayed Visaya chadiya kabe suddha habe mana. Kabe ham heribo Sri Vrindavan. Narottam Das Thakur's prayer is all exalted prayers. What he says? Visaya chadiya kabe suddha habe mana. When my mind will be purified and I will be away from the Vishaya, the attachment to this Vishaya enjoyment, the material enjoyment. And by doing that, what I'll do? Kabe Hamo, when I'll be living in Sri Vrindavan Dham. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu give assurance. The attachment to the material will never go up. That means you can subdue your material Vishaya Taranga. The wave of the material enjoyment will never increase. Rather, it will be subdued. Because Punarapi Eisthane Pabe Mora Sangha. Because definitely you'll be getting the association of mind. And when you are getting the association of Krishna, that means you are getting the association of the Tadiya also. All the paraphernalia of Krishna. The Sadhu Sangha, the Bhagavat Sangha, the Srimad Bhagavatam Sangha, Bapu Bani, everything that you are getting. And this is a very safest position. But is what? When you are engaged in the seva. That's why Narottam Das Thakur says, Rupa Raghunatha Pade Rahumoro Asha Prarthana Karaishada Narottama Dasha. And always, please bless me with one thing. I'll always have inquisitiveness, the desire, the luluptata to what? To be associated with, to follow the lotus feet of Rupa and Raghunath, lotus feet of Sad Goswami. And I should have all the inquisitiveness, interest, and luluptata to be associated, to follow the footprint of this Rupa Raghunath. And this is my prayer. Prarthana Karai Sada Narottama Dash. And Prabhupada says, the sincere devotee who engages in the service of the Lord's Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by preaching his cult all over the world will never be affected by Vaishya Taranga, material influences. On the contrary, in due course of time, he will return to the shelter of lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and will thus have perpetual association with him. And that's why they give the example of so many acharyas. So many acharyas. Prabhupada, our Guru Maharaj, all this Guru Maharaj that they have given the example in their life. They've never been contaminated by material. Because why? They're always protected in preaching, in the preaching movement, mode of preaching movement. Because the message, Prabhupada is inhabited in their mind, in their consciousness. Amaragya Guru Heya Taroe Desh, Jare Dekho, Tare Koho, Krishna Upadesh. And that's how they engage their life. They've given their complete life, the completeness to Krishna consciousness, and they are protected. They're fully protected. Completely protected. And if you look at the life of Prabhupada also, he narrated this wonderful this poem in Jaladut. And he was protected by whom? Oh, he was praying, Krishna, you will protect me. I know there is a big mission, you are giving me this order, and you know that what to be done. I don't know, you must be knowing that. And also he prayed for the protection because he says, I'm entering into this tape, I'm entering into the zone where I don't know. It's full of Maya. But I'm sure that means when you are sending it to me, there is definitely there is a plan behind. And from Prabhupada, from our Guru Maharaj, from all this Acharya, what you need to learn is to develop the faith on the message of the Lord. There is a plan of Krishna. I need to execute. I need to serve him the best possible way. And let's start with the Sivan Mukhe Zivade. Sivan Mukhe Zivade by chanting the name as well as to chant the glory of the Lord. And when you do that, when you spread the message of the Lord all over, then only become the very dearest of the Lord. And Krishna says, never, 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 he will leave those who preach the message of him. He says, I may leave sometime my brothers Balram. I may leave sometimes to my dearest Siva, to Rukmani, Satyabhama, but in no condition I can leave my devotee, because he resides in me and I reside in his heart. And that's why it became a very beloved devotee, those who preach Krishna consciousness, the message of the Lord, the message of Bhagavad Gita, message of Srimad Bhagavatam to this universe. And this Srimad Bhagavatam is the Amal Purana. And Prabhupada, he was giving answer about the Purana. What is Purana basically? Purayati iti Purana. And Prabhupada defined this Purayati word very beautifully. What is Purayati? Which give completeness in the Krishna consciousness is Purayati. It gives completeness in the relationship with Krishna, that is Purayati. And when giving the definition of that Purana, he also quote about the very first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, Janmadi Ashyasya Athasto, Artheshu Abhigya Swarat. And that's why Prabhupada given this very beautiful elaboration of Srimad Bhagavatam and how Srimad Bhagavatam is essence in our life. And we can complete our the understanding of Krishna, understanding the relationship with Krishna. That's why it is Amal Purana. And we should take the shelter of Sri Nam, Sri Bhagavatam, and also takes of the shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, and take the shelter of Guru and Parampara. Hare Krishna. With this, I'm concluding with this verse, beautiful verse, and this so beautifully explained by Srila Prabhupada. It's definitely will help us in understanding our consciousness and elevating our consciousness towards Krishna and the relationship. Hare Krishna. And I would request if you can add any points or any things that you have in mind, so that it will be more beneficial for all of us to understand this particular aspect. And what is the difference between being in affluence, engaging everything for the Krishna, and engaging everything for the sense gratification, and understanding the difference. It will help us. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Arjuna Sakha. Wonderful class and a lot of reminders that each one of us has to take away, Prabhuji. Just to quickly summarize, one beautiful thing which you mentioned is being in our constitutional position is the most safest position. And nicely, you also summarized the Bhagavad Gita verse, which Prabhupada had mentioned, 4.26, how to transcend from the three modes, where you can engage in devotional service, Satatam Kirtayam Tumam, and then the rewards of that is Brahmabhuta stage. But correct. After that, what happens is one goes into a never lamenting position where devotees accept happiness and misery equally. And then Mad Bhakti Labhati Param acquires bhakti and remains always stays in one's constitutional position. And the Srila Prabhupada statement that you also referred was, in human life, we need to endeavor to acquire the transcendental energy. And the only way to do that is the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and which we have never done in our earliest multiple lives, billions and billions of lives that we've gone through. And then beautifully you quoted, Prabhuji, the Acharyas and how they have exemplified this whole position, Prabhuji, for us. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. I'll just unmute the lines so that devotees can ask questions, comments, or any questions. Devotees can try to unmute their lines.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam Arjuna Sakha Prabhu. This is Ashok Atma Vasudevadas. Wonderful lecture, Prabhu, today. A lot of, as Prabhuji said, a lot of openings, and you have given a lot of references from Bhagavad Gita. And I mean, in a chronological order process, where even a neophyte can understand what is bhakti. and how one can engage their results of their karma yoga in the process of achieving spiritual path. Very nice, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anybody else has any questions or comments? I presume nobody has anything. So thank you so much, Prabhuji,
Thank you,
for
Prabhu.
the wonderful
Hare Krishna.
class, and we intend to hear more from you, Prabhuji, in the coming weeks. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hare
We can
Krishna.
end with the Vaishnava pranams. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubheva patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah anantakotti Vaishnavvrinda ki jai. Vaishnava Thakur Prabhupada ki jai. Ashok Prabhupada ki jai. Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
Thank you so much. Thank you all. We'll meet tomorrow, same time. Hare Krishna. I'll end the session.
Hare Krishna.